Okay, am I symmetrical in here? You can see the glare of my glasses. Well, now you can see me, but I can't see you. Welcome back. I am Dr. Tamitha Davis. I am a naturopath, and I am passionate about sharing women's health, gardening, herbalism, regular health stuff, all the above. So if that's something you're interested in and you like it brought to you in just a kind of a cool, quirky way, because that's what I am. I'm known as the unprofessional doctor. I don't want that title, but yeah. So if that's stuff that you're interested in, do consider subscribing to the channel, leave comments, hit the thumbs up, and let's get into today's topic. Now, since I like to squirrel a lot, I've made notes. So we're going to try to keep on this here, and I don't like to do a whole lot of editing because it takes hours to do that. And so we're going to dive into today's topic, and that is endometriosis. What is it? What causes it? And how can we stop it from progressing so that way we can hopefully balance out our hormones and not become raging homicidal maniacs? Okay, so every month our uterine lining sheds in a normal, typical way, and then we just kind of expel it from our body if there's no egg that's been attached. So if there's no fertilized egg, our uterus sheds its lining. However, in endometriosis, our uterine lining starts to go places that it should not go, like on the outside of the uterus, on the ovaries, on the cervix. It just kind of just goes haywire and starts to plaster itself everywhere. In severe cases, it can actually end up on your bladder, your fallopian tubes, and also on your intestines. Meaning that shedding everywhere, like on your bladder, your intestines, the outside of your uterus, that blood just kind of stays in your body cavity, and that causes a lot of pain and inflammation. I'm sorry about my son, but this is my life. Why does this endometriosis, these endometrial lining cells, why do they start to go growing everywhere? We typically see endometriosis happening in women who are having estrogen dominance. This is when our body is not able to get rid of the excess amounts of estrogen. Our progesterone is too low. Our liver is over toxic with other chemicals and the excess amounts of estrogen, and our body just can't get rid of it. So think of estrogen like this city, and your progesterone is like the little workers that kind of keeps things in line and in check. Well, when you have too much of going on in your city and not enough workers to take care of it, that's kind of what is happening. So you're bombarded with all these buildings, pollution, traffic, people, and they're creating all this garbage and everything. And your little workers over here, like let's say you only have 4 of them, they can't take care of like New York City. So you're going to have a lot of inflammation, you're going to have a lot of sickness, you're not going to be able to have nutrients get into areas where it needs to get in, and your hormones just simply get out of whack. And that usually happens from the 3 stressors that I talk about all the time. We have our physical stress, mental, emotional, and chemical stress. And our body, once it becomes bombarded with that, it throws off our hormones. There are so many chemicals that we're putting in our body that actually mimic estrogen. And when we have that, our body doesn't recognize that it's not estrogen, and it treats it like estrogen. So it just kind of starts sticking it in all of our cells, and our body can't detoxify from it because it's not an actual thing that we can use, an actual chemical that we can use, because it's a chemical. So our body doesn't know really how to react to that, and it just starts to go haywire, and our whole entire body starts becoming inflamed. We start getting gut dysbiosis. We start having leaky gut. We can't absorb the vitamins and minerals that we're taking in, and we need lots of vitamins and minerals to actually keep our hormones balanced, like zinc and magnesium, selenium, our choline. All these are essential nutrients to help us to balance out our hormones. So that is one of the things that we need to work on if we want to reverse the signs or these symptoms, because endometriosis is a symptom. Okay, it's not a sickness or disease. It's just a symptom of what is going on in our body and what we're doing to our body. So if we're bombarding ourselves with all these chemicals and we're stressing out mentally, physically, our body just can't simply recover, and it's just, we're going to start seeing autoimmune diseases. A lot of women who have a hormonal imbalance like endometriosis or PCOS or infertility problems, they sometimes, a lot of times will have an autoimmune condition that follows along with that. And that's because our body is sending out these mixed signals in our bodies because of chemicals. And that is like the main thing. We need to reduce the stress and get rid of the chemicals that are in our bodies. So how can we help these 4 little guys who are trying to take care of New York City? Well, we need somebody to come in, us, and have a little bit of law and order in place and start to have a plan. So we want to start with our diet, getting rid of all the toxic stuff. If it's chemicals in it, you can't pronounce it, do not eat it. We need to start eating organically. We need to start eating local foods. We need to start eating anti-inflammatory foods. So taking out dairy, taking out all the processed foods, taking out wheat for a while. Actually, grains and wheats here in the United States is just chock full of chemicals, and that is part of our problem. We want to get rid of all the inflammatory foods and start eating anti-inflammatory foods. So we want to start eating healthy fats like avocados and nuts and seeds, berries. Any kind of berry is really, really good. It's low on the glycemic index. Another thing that we're having problems with is a lot of insulin resistance because we're just eating too much sugar. So we need to be taking sugar out of our diet. Now, I'm not talking about sugar that is naturally found in plants like apples and bananas and things like that. Sugar is so inflammatory and it will wreak havoc on our hormones. Ensure we're staying hydrated and not just chugging water. We want to make sure we have electrolytes in our water. I like to make green juices. That's where I get most of my minerals from instead of just drinking electrolyte, because a lot of the electrolyte powders are like chemicals. So making a nice green juice with some lemon juice in it, apple, kale, spinach, all kinds of greens, celery, carrots. I love it. So that's how I like to get my electrolytes in. So sure you're getting lots of leafy greens in, eating salads every day. Our cruciferous vegetables, that helps to break down a lot of the excess amounts of estrogen, the DIM that is in those cruciferous vegetables, are awesome for balancing out hormones. Even do broccoli sprouts would be really good, like the little microgreens that has a lot of nutrition in it to help balance out your hormones. Turmeric, ginger, if you like salmon that has good healthy fats in it, the omega-3 fatty acids. I also like to do seed cycling. I talk a lot about that. It's where you eat flaxseed and pumpkin seeds during your follicular phase, which is day 1 of your period through day 14 of your cycle, and then day 15 of your cycle through day 28. You want to do sesame seeds and sunflower seeds. That's your luteal phase. That helps to balance out those hormones in those particular phases. Take care of our liver, doing a liver detox, drinking milk thistle tea, dandelion, burdock root, things that's going to help to flush out our liver. Doing intermittent fasting. I like to stop eating at 6 p.m. until noon the next day. That helps our body to reset, that we're not digesting a whole lot. And you want to eat your biggest meal like at the beginning of the day, so that way you can have that energy to burn off and not, have a lot of food just sitting in your stomach and trying to digest that, because it takes a lot of energy to digest food. So you don't want to be going to bed with a full stomach or eating a lot of sugar before bed. Stinging nettles, that is really good for detoxifying your body, and also contains a lot of the vitamins and minerals in it as well. Avoiding a lot of the chemicals that we are putting in our body, on our body, and around our body. So thinking air fresheners, perfumes, shampoos, cleaning products, finding some DIY and things with using like essential oils, or using vinegar for cleaning and lemon juice, using essential oils for a diffuser for air freshener, or even your own like personal cosmetic things. I do like my own shampoos and conditioners and things like that, putting rosemary essential oils in, and not using all those synthetic chemicals in, on, and around our body. Eating things that are in plastic, making sure we're cooking with stainless steel or cast iron, using glass cookware, drinking out of a glass, and not plastic. So we want to opt out of plastic things. The receipts at the grocery store contains chemicals on them that can mess with our own body hormones and stuff. So we just want to make sure we're getting those things out of our lifestyle. Okay, making sure we're going out in public, going outside and getting sunshine, making sure we're getting that vitamin D, the natural vitamin D, getting our feet on the ground, grounding ourselves, taking a walk, getting 10,000 steps in every single day, doing stretching, yoga, meditation, getting our bodies moving. Our skin is our biggest detox organ, so we want to make sure we're detoxing. You know, we start to see like these skin issues, like women start getting the skin tags, or they start getting the bumps and stuff like on their face. That's from high estrogen and high amounts of sugar in our bodies. Taking herbs like Vitex, which is chasteberry, shatavari berry, maca, dong quai, even there's red raspberry leaf or wild yam. All these are very beneficial for balancing out our hormones as well. So I take probiotics before bed, eating fermented foods, getting a good gut health, making sure we're not constipated. There's some women who actually don't go number 2 until they actually get on their period, which is insane. If we have a sluggish bowel and not having frequent bowel movements, that excess amounts of estrogen is just being recycled in our body. And same way with the sugar, and we're not getting nutrients that way either. If we're having a slow, sluggish digestive system, our nutrients can't be absorbed at all. So eating lots of fiber in our diet, eating good, clean source of fiber, not the Metamucil stuff that you got to be mixing up and chugging with a gallon of water. Reducing stress in our lives. That can be easier said than done. But like I mentioned, going out, doing meditation, getting outside and barefoot in the grass, find activities that you like to do. If you like to journal, if you like to horseback ride, gardening, find something that you enjoy. I like to take a bath every evening. I go in there, I'm like, leave me alone. This is me time. And I listen to my podcast or listen to an audiobook. Whatever you find enjoyable, do that. You can do castor oil packs if you have endometriosis. You don't want to do castor oil packs while you're on your period. You want to make sure you're doing them not on your period, okay? But you just take, you can look up castor oil packs. There's none that I recommend or suggest that you use. You can do your own research, but you just take like a pack and you just put a whole bunch of castor oil on it and a heating pad, and you just stick it on your lower abdomen whenever you're, you do that maybe once a day or like every other day. I would probably do every other day. Make sure we're getting plenty of sleep. I know, again, easier said than done. We need to be cutting off our social media like a couple hours before bed, turning off the news, getting rid of the blue light. You know, if you must wear your little blue, my glasses actually has blue light filter in it, which is great. Like, women actually need more sleep than men do. And we're not. We're getting less sleep than what men do, especially if we're parents and we have like toddlers or young children, newborns, and we're just not getting enough sleep. And that is keeping our cortisol levels high. So we need to find ways to lower the cortisol levels. I like to take ashwagandha. I take that throughout the day, and before bed, I'll drink like lemon balm tea with tulsi, chamomile, a little bit of honey. And it's like a great tea to be taking before bedtime. Sometimes if I'm just really, really stressed out, I will take some valerian capsules mixed with some other good herbs in it that has like the chamomile and lavender. Things that, you know, I also like to put a diffuser on at nighttime that has lavender and chamomile essential oils in it, just to help relax my body. And on YouTube, you can go on there and just type in relaxation music or guided meditation. They're everywhere. In like a toxic relationship, you need to remove yourself from that toxic relationship. You have my permission to dump the losers, okay? And if your family, because family can be one of those people that adds a lot of stress in your life, it's okay. It's okay to set boundaries. Set boundaries. I hope these tips were helpful, and I hope I didn't ramble on too much. My husband came and got the baby, so I was like, because I heard him come home, and I was like, come get your son. Anyway, I hope this was helpful. Please do consider subscribing to the channel and liking. Please comment. This helps to push my videos out into the world of YouTube. And I will see you guys in the next video. I have it written somewhere in these papers. Bye.